Hey family, how you doing? Welcome to Tea and Stories. Woo! You see I have my chapeau on today. One of my chapeaus. One of my favorites. My husband and I went for a walk today in the beautiful sun because it's really gorgeous out. It's supposed to be a little nasty the next couple of days, but it was beautiful today. Very hot, and I liked it a lot. Just to set this up for you, this is Tea and Stories with Mama Carla Wiley. I'm going to be telling you the last part of the origin story for my superheroes, Seer and Rise. I know some people are wondering, okay, Mama Carla, why are you telling superhero stories and why an origin story? Well, one of the reasons why is because we always think of superheroes that's more of a European tradition, but actually many heroes with supernatural powers or superhero stories started as far back for us as back in Egypt, and in other places there are always stories of those who come and save their people and who are there as helpers for their people. It's one of the stories that's part of our storytelling tradition, that African American storytelling tradition. So it's not weird or anything to hear superhero stories among our people. It's just that in this country, because most of the stories that we hear and stuff are Eurocentric, a lot of times we miss out on hearing about our own myths that give us those special powers. If you've ever heard of Anansi the Spider, Anansi the Spider did not start out as a trickster in the sense that he was bad. He was started out as a trickster who basically outsmarted those who were supposed to be more superior. That's a very important fact to remember when you hear any stories about us. So as people come to join, I'm going to ask you to share. We want other people to be able to join us too. Please share. Invite folks to come and hear Tea and Stories. I hope you have your beverage. Here's mine. Pineapple chunks at the bottom. My water is infused with ginger and lime and no sugar. No sugar. Because the pineapple will give me enough sugar. This is really good for you, and it does help you. It helps you with your skin and everything else. Hello, Sister Dear. How are you? And we do. We need to hydrate ourselves, very much so. We need to take good care of ourselves. And this is one of the things that will help us to take care of ourselves. Because I do firmly believe in us as sisters and brothers and people of culture, of us really trying to take good care of ourselves. We need to. Now let me get to that story. This is the end of our origin story, but like I said, it's an origin, just the beginning. So you'll be hearing more about my superheroes later on. Now when we left off, I was telling you about her going to the forest with her mom. Nella walked her daughter right to the edge of the forest. And Seer looked into her mother's eyes. Her mother sat down. Mama, we're not going in? I'm not going in, Seer, but you are. Me? Alone? You are never alone, daughter. I told you that long ago. You will always have someone here with you. But you are going to meet the echoes of your ancestors, and they are going to help lead you the rest of the way to your journey. Will it be the end of my journey, Mama? No. Only the beginning. Now, go. But Mama, I will be here, and so will Rise when you come out. Don't worry, daughter. You are never alone. Now, Seer was terrified. Not that she was going to be hurt or anything. It was the unknown. But she took a deep breath. She looked once more at her mother, who smiled and told her to go on. And she walked into the forest. She had only walked a few steps when she turned back to see her mother, but there was nothing there but a fog. It was silver gray and it hung over her. She looked at it. She took a deep breath and she kept walking. She happened to glance down at her garment. The cotton that was gray and white began to glow. And her hands that were once green from the heat had changed into an orange. She wanted to stop. She wanted to run back. She was afraid, but she remembered what her mother said. You are never alone. Your ancestors are with you. And so she kept walking. And as she did, she got to a clearing. And there stood a beautiful, tall woman. Her skin was dark like chocolate. And it felt like leather, for she reached out for her hand. Do I know you? Seer said. Yes, my loved one, you know me. I am your great-great-grandmother. But my great-grandmother is... Are you a ghost? The woman said, there is no such thing as ghost. I am an echo. Let me explain. But we must walk as I explain, for there are others who need to meet you. She reached out her hand and they clasped hands and walked. Her skin didn't feel like anything she'd ever felt before. She figured if you could touch a cloud, that's how it would feel. She took a deep breath and she walked with her. And she said, all that you see here today, they are echoes. They are echoes of people. They are echoes of things that live. Do not be afraid, my loved one, for all those echoes are echoes of your people. We are here to guide you. We are here to protect you. We are here to show you your destiny. Come. And so they kept walking. And as they walked, they could hear voices. A smile came upon the old woman's lips, and she looked at her granddaughter again and said, the rest of your ancestors await you at the table. Go in and sit. In? Into the field, my little one. Go. Don't be afraid. And she did. She walked, tiny steps at first, and then a little faster. And there were beautiful people sitting around a table. All of them had long hair. Some of their hair was brown and red. Some was white as clouds in the sky. Some was black as midnight. And they were beautiful. Come, said an old man. Sit, granddaughter. You're my grandfather? She said. I am his echo. Have a seat, my little one. And she sat down. The table was set with fruit and nuts. And there were glasses brimming over, and she could smell the soup that her grandmother had always made for her. Go ahead. Drink. She began to drink, and then she realized that no one else was eating or drinking. They all looked at each other and smiled, and then looked at her and said, "We are echoes. We have no need for food or drink. But you, child, you will need your strength, for there is much to come." Each of them introduced themselves. Each of them told her a story of her heritage. She went from one person to the other. Her grandfather, her great-great-grandfather, her great-great-great-grandfather, her grandmother, great-great-grandmother, uncles, aunts, until she got to the end of the table. And there sat a man and a woman. They were the most beautiful she had ever seen. The woman stood up. Her hair was not gray. It was reddish brown, and it's shiny and beautiful. "Who are you?" she asked. "I am the first seer. I am the one you were named for." "Oh," Seer said. She had so many questions, but she didn't even know where to start. And Grand Seer looked at her and said, "You are here, my little one, because you will help to bring our people back to the island so the island can rise again." "What happened to the island, Grand Seer?" The man beside her stood. "I am Coriander." "Honor to you, Coriander." He smiled. "I am your grandfather first." "My little one, I will tell you the story, if you do not mind, Grand Seer." "Of course, my husband. Tell her." "You're a grandfather too?" "Oh, yes, little one. Oh, yes, I am." "Sit, eat, and I will tell you the story. When we first came to the island, it was given to us by the Creator. Myself and my 4 brothers, we all were there, all of us, and our beautiful wives. We were there to start a mighty nation and to raise the plants that would bring our people to health. And for many years we lived in peace. But there were those who became jealous of each other. There were those who tried to harm one another. There were those who wanted to be great and to be worshipped. And because of that, they began to be downtrodden on others. We once had lived as brothers, and now we lived in a constant battle with one another. That is why the island sank. For the Creator personified her and asked her what she wanted. She said she wanted us gone. And so, like stars, we were scattered throughout the world. But there was always one to teach everyone else. There was always one who would know what to do. There was always one who would know how to grow the plants and how to bring the ancestor spirits back. "Is that what I'm supposed to do?" Seer asked. Such a smart child. "Yes, you are one. There are others. But our people here, they will be the hardest to sell." He sat down and looked very sad. "For there must be a calling of our people, and we will all return to the island. For the island will rise, and all must come. But there are some who do not want to come. They do not want the rising of the island because they fear being oppressed. They fear retaliation. They fear change. For in order for the island to continue on, there has to be change, daughter. But grandfather, if there must be change, won't it come no matter what they say? Yes, but it is being delayed because of them. That is where you and Rise come in. For you must go to collect the children, those who are scattered like stars. The last generation to live upon the island will be gone soon. And the new generations, they must rise. Just as you are, just as your brother is. But, she said, terrified, I know nothing. Seer, said Grand Seer, you know everything. Everything that you need to know. And even things that you do not know that you know. And this day, all of us, all of your ancestors, will put what they know into you. And you will be able to teach others. All you need to do is take them by the hand. Look into their eyes, and child, they will know everything. Is that my endowment? It is one. You have many endowments, little one. You will not know them all today. But when the time comes, you will know what to do. It will be inside your heart. It is in your very DNA. She looked into their eyes, and for some reason, she had no fear anymore. It was as though it was wiped away. She drank the last of her soup and stood. I am ready. Her great-great-grandmother looked at her and said, you will never be ready, little one. No one is ever ready for their destiny. It just happens. But we will be with you, for we are your guardians. Our spirits will always guard you. But why is it here I can touch you? Will I be able to touch you outside of this forest? You will never leave this forest, little one. This forest will always be here for you, but we cannot leave. But trust me, we are echoes. We can send our voices, our spirits, far beyond this place. For we are powered by the Creator, and He is your help. It is to the Creator that you must worship, said Coriander. It is to the Creator that you must show your love, said Grand Seer. The Creator, yes. You will feel when the Creator is above you. The warmth that you have felt in your hands, that is only a portion. You have more to come, my little one. I am ready, she said quietly. Again, said her great-great-grandmother, you will never be ready, but you will be equipped. And all stood, and each walked past her, and each took her hand. They held it tight and pulled her to them, their foreheads to her forehead. Each one, all 15. And when she got to Grand Seer, And Coriander, Grand Seer said to her, "You will not be alone, for you will have another whose heart will be like yours, and he will be your helpmate, and you will be his. Rise will have the same, and you are both safe, so do not fear anything that you must do, for you do it with us as your protection." "Yes, Grand Seer." She looked in Grand Seer's eyes. They were strange colored, a beautiful dark, dark color that was brown and gold, and she felt as though she was swimming in them. And then she felt another hand on hers, and it was Coriander. "Your Baba is very proud of you," said Coriander. "Thank you, Baba," he said. "Do not be afraid. And remember, we are echoes. We are always here. And when you need us to multiply within you, you will hear us. All you need to do is ask." "Yes, Baba." "Grand Seer." She leaned against them both, and they held her tightly, and she felt a warmth and a safety that she had never felt in her life. She had always felt loved and safe, but this was different. It was as though she was protected, and she felt an energy that she had never felt before. And she looked down, and her hands were gold and glowing. And she looked at the end of her locks, and they were a strange brownish green. And her face felt hot. And as she looked up, she saw them all start to fade. "Are you leaving me?" she said. "We will never leave you." The voice was Grand Seer's. "We are always with you." She turned around and began to walk back towards the entrance of the forest, where she had found her mother before. She walked slowly, but with purpose. And when she got to the edge of the forest, she saw her mother sitting there with Rise beside her. "You have seen them," said Rise, looking up at her. "Yes, they were magnificent." "Yes, they are. But Mother, I still have so many questions." "You have all the answers that you need," Nella said. She reached inside of a pocket inside of her garment and handed it to her. "Look at yourself." And when she looked in the mirror, she saw that the end of her locks were still that brownish green color. Her eyes were dark and deep, and her skin looked the same color as the cloves. "I've changed." "Yes, and you'll continue to change and grow. And when the time comes, which will not be long from now, you will go out on your mission, just as your brother does, just as I have, and just as your father could have." "Father? But I thought..." "Yes, in the beginning I did too. But your father, just like me, just like you, just like Rise, is a child of Clove. But unfortunately, he was raised to fear his heritage. He tried to weaken you so that you would not fulfill your destiny, because that is what he was told, that if you fulfilled your destiny, he would lose you forever. But it is not true, little one. And who knows, you may yet save him. From what, Mother? What will happen to those who do not come as the island rises? They will have no choice but to come. But will they live on the island? I do not know. Come, you have been gone for many days, and you need to rest now. Days? I was only gone for a few hours. No, sister. You were gone for 4 days. In that forest, with the ancestors' echoes, you lose track of time. There's so much. Yes, but now what you need is sleep. And her brother on one side, her mother on the other. Seer left to take on things that she never thought she could, with strength that she never thought she had. And soon, that strength would save a mighty nation. And that is the end of the origin story. What did you think? Now, the people Clove you're going to find out more about later on in some tea and story. But tomorrow, I think I'll do a little bit of a change. Maybe we'll do something funny or happy. But what do you think about being superhero? Do you think you have superhero tendencies? I think everybody does. Now, tomorrow is more tea and stories, little ones. And like I said, if there's a story that you want to hear or a kind of story that you want to hear, make sure that you let me know. Send me a message. I'll be happy to do the kind of stories that you want. But I think tomorrow I'll definitely do a story for my beautiful Skylar. So I'll have to figure out which one I want to do for her. One to make her laugh and giggle. And one to make you laugh and giggle too. Because we all need that. Oh, my jewelry for the day. Look. Aren't these beautiful? Can you see them? Can you see them? Can you see them? These are some of my favorite paparazzi earrings. Oh, they look like eyes, right? Love them. Hey, wait a minute. And this beautiful, beautiful key necklace. Key to my heart. Actually, amethyst is on here, and amethyst is one of the keys to my heart. Yes. My darlings are. I want to thank you all for coming and watching Tea Stories. I hope you brought your beverage. Make sure you try some of this water. It's an infusion. It has ginger and lime and orange. Orange is right in. And then frozen pineapple to keep it cold. It's delicious. And it's good for you and it's refreshing. Please stay well hydrated and come back soon for more tea and stories. Also, you know that we're sponsored by my paparazzi jewelry. Make sure that you go and check out what I have on display. I'm going to be posting right after tea and stories so you can see more jewelry. If not, go on my website and see if there's anything you'd like there. And thank you for all your support. And whenever you can, stop in for more tea and stories. Thank you. Oh, also, if you missed any past tea and stories, you just got here and this is your first time hearing the origin story, go on my YouTube channel. Definitely. And you'll be able to watch the rest of the origin story. Love you very much. Mwah. And take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.